Yo, what is up, guys? Before we get started, I got this jingle in my head and I can't get it out, and it goes like this: peaches, 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 peaches. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't seen the movie yet. If you do know what I'm talking about, Kev, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We're gonna get right into that, but say hello to Mike from the Old Brother Podcast.
It's great to be here. I'm missing half myself, but
yeah, we missed Dan, the other half of Dan. So Dan, next time you better come on. But we're gonna go over not only Mario and all, the Mario movie, and we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about maybe Tetris, Star Wars, Pinball, a little bit of everything, movies, whatever's on your guys' mind. Who in the chat, if you've seen Mario, please put a 1 in the chat. I want to know who's seen it. And I'm going to tell Kev, you saw it this weekend, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mike, you saw it this weekend?
I did indeed. I saw 3 video game movies this week.
Whoa.
3? Okay.
Damn.
I'm going to guess they were that one, Tetris, and the Pinball movie is my guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
There we go. There we go. What is up, Paul? How are you doing? Mike Hawk.
Good to see you, Paul.
No, Paul did not. I won't do any spoilers, Paul. Gamer Price saw it. Okay, so he knows what I'm talking about with the Peaches melody. Chris saw it. Oh wait, there it is. SLS 78. He saw it. Okay. Before we talk about, because we're going to talk about the accent real quick after what I want to talk about, previews. Kev, you go first. In the theater, tell me about the previews that you saw. Any previews you got excited for? Because I got a couple, but I don't know if I was excited for them or not. What do you remember in the previews?
Well, we have to stop with these previews. The Mario movie was 1 hour and 32 minutes. And if you clock these previews, Rexer, it was 25 minutes but of previews before the movie started. That's a third of the Mario movie. And it's like you see these previews on YouTube, and then you get to the movie, you rush to your seat, you have your food, and you get done your popcorn before the previews are even over. And then you're sitting through the same 6 previews. There was a preview about ducks migrating somewhere.
Ducks. I was gonna mention that.
I looked at my wife and I go, "Do you want to see this?" And she goes, "Hell yeah!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's called migration. I was like, "What is this?"
They were hyping this Ducks movie. I don't know if you guys have seen any previews of it, but it was I don't know. It was Illumination.
Yeah,
video,
another
right?
Illumination.
Mike, was that in yours? Was that one previewed on yours?
I actually had no previews because I was in a special
look at you. Oh, excuse us.
Special screening.
Let me just pee on you, Rexer.
What can I say? You hit 120 subs, you get these.
Special screen. What's up, Mikey? Did you guys see the movie? 1 if you saw it, 0 if you haven't seen it. We're going to talk about other movies too, guys. But I'll give you my story really quick, because I bought the tickets and I told Kev, I said, Kev, we're going in LA. I was going with my brother. I bought 7 tickets, $150 for 7 tickets.
That's brutal.
And I didn't know. I'm like, I haven't been to movies that often, but here they're not. It doesn't seem like it's that much. And I only go with me and my kid, so I took 7 people. So, I'm like, maybe it's inflation in Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm like, that's got to be it. So we get to the movie, and it was a nightmare getting there with 4 kids and a couple adults. And anyway, I go, hey, here's my thing. They scan. They give me the glasses. They give me the 3D glasses, and I went, I bought 3D tickets.
Yeah.
So we saw it in 3D. And when the kids knew, they were like, yeah, 3D.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I hope I can handle this 3D, because I usually get dizzy. I usually get dizzy and things. But we were able to handle it. Me and my brother, who both get dizzy, were able to handle it. I'll say this, guys, if you're thinking $84 for 5 tickets, if you're thinking about 3D, it's fun, but I don't think it's worth it for Mario.
Being a 3D expert, since I have like 300 3D Blu-rays, it's very mild, slight medium in some shots, not worth the $5 upsell.
I don't think so either. Did you see it in 3D, Kev, then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely paid. Well, I got it for free since Comcast sent me the 2 tickets.
Oh, yeah.
You heard the box office, Kev. You heard the box office when you put that video out.
I did it. Yeah. So, it was worth the 3D for me. but not for everyone else. And to be honest, the majority of the showings were in regular. I had to actually plan around the 3D because it was only showing like 2 times during the day. So this was not really a 3D upsell. In my opinion, compared to Avatar, which every showing was in 3D. So save your $4. Don't see this in 3D. It's very mild.
Yeah, I got host steps. You didn't see it in 3D, Mike?
No, mine was 2D.
Okay.
Critic
and it was
special.
Fun. Critic special. Critic special. All right, let's jump into the first topic.
Right,
I want to get this one over with about the accent. Okay. I'll let you guys go first. Did it bother you? I'll start with you, Mike, because you're the guest. Did not having the accent of Luigi and Mario, even Luigi didn't have an accent. What did you think?
I didn't like it. Actually, Chris Pratt went in and out of it. Like
it was weird.
He would just be himself, and then he would say something like, "Hi." I was like, okay,
Yeah.
He can't figure out whether he wants to be Italian or not.
Yeah.
So that was distracting.
Yeah. Kev?
I think if you line up all these voice actors, he was probably in the middle of being, in my opinion, offensive, because Seth Rogen was just literally talking like Seth Rogen. And it's really, Seth, you couldn't do anything to make us not feel like you're just sitting in a studio in your basement talking like yourself, and then one step up is Luigi. Charlie Day basically did no prep for this. Chris Pratt sounds like he did some prep, and they synthesized his voice.
They synthesized his voice. I couldn't even tell it was him.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell it was Chris Pratt except for a few instances.
Yeah. Like Mike just said, he comes out every now and again. You're like, oh, there's Chris Pratt. And then he slips in and you're like, that's not Chris Pratt at all.
Right.
And you're like, that's where the synthesize comes in.
Yep.
But he wasn't horrible like everybody thought he was going to be.
No. You get over it because you have to. Okay.
Yes.
But there is basically no accent, and you can't tell it's Chris Pratt. I'm just letting you guys know, really. And they synthesize his voice in some fashion that you really can't even tell it's him.
Yeah.
But here was my plight with it. Here's my plight, and I'm with you, Paul. I need my stereotypical, Italian accent, and I'm Italian, so don't tell me, it can't be racist because I'm Italian. But that's what Mario is now. And here's what I'll pose to you guys. If I do let's just say a Transformers movie, right? And I got, I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson doing the voice of Optimus Prime. Does that sound right to you? No. It's got to sound right like the character. And Mario has an Italian accent. So does Luigi. And what's weird is kind of his parents, didn't they have a little Italian accent?
They were more into the accent. Yeah.
And then what about this, Mike? No Brooklyn accent even. From Mario, and they were born in Brooklyn and raised in Brooklyn. No Brooklyn accent for Mario or Luigi.
First of all, where did all that Mario family come from? I never heard of them.
Brand new.
And who the hell is Spike?
No idea.
He's a new character. Who knows? Spike, man, they're working buddy. They worked for Spike. This won't spoil any of it, guys. Just so you know, this is just, if you haven't seen it, we're not spoiling any of it. Now you don't care about the accent in the end, but dude, it's a slap in the face to Italians. Kind of. He's our hero. He's like the most Italian. If you ask any who's famous Italian, Mario and Luigi. You know. I mean,
it's like, what's next? They got to take, the Italian hat off the pizza box with the stereotypical
guy, spinning pizza and all that.
Yeah.
But here was what I noticed too, guys, is in the very beginning, they do that commercial.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi do a plumber commercial, and they overdo the accent. And they they overdo it. And they're like, hey, I'm Mario, what, you like the plumbing. And they overdo it. And then they come back and they play off that. And then you're like, they kind of make you feel like, they overdid it so much. I don't want that accent. Well, you don't need that one, but at least, make him sound like the original Mario.
Yeah.
The first.
Spike was who? Who did he say Spike was the bad guy? Oh, in Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew.
In NES. Oh, good catch on that one.
That's a good one, yeah.
That is a good one. There's a lot of that stuff in this movie, too.
Yeah, a lot of Easter eggs.
You got to pick up on these Easter eggs.
The first 20 minutes, I was completely confused. I thought I was in the wrong theater, that there was 2 Mario movies.
Yeah, you don't know where it's going in what
confusing.
direction. You don't know what direction it's going in the beginning, but
there is no, Rexer, you keep saying I'm not going to spoil the movie. There's no spoilers to this movie. There's no story to this movie.
Correct.
It literally is set piece after set piece, Easter egg after Easter egg. You smile and you leave. If somebody were to say, how much can you tell me of this story? I would go, I have no idea. Like Bowser's after a star. That's it. That's all. So just sit back and enjoy yourself. The guy who wrote it did Lego Movie 2, and I think the last Despicable Me, or one of the Despicable Me, Rise of Gru.
I don't think he's ever played a Mario game. The writing is the real problem.
Exactly.
With this movie.
That's the biggest issue I had with this movie.
Yeah. Okay, guys. First of all, I forgot to say Happy Easter to everybody because we were rushing and I barely got back. So Happy Easter to everybody in the chat.
Easter.
Happy Easter to you guys. But here is the real critic. Let's ask the real critic before we say. Go ahead, Chase.
Chase.
Tell them what you thought of the movie.
I thought the movie was a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, there you have it.
That's
there you have it. So
don't take our word.
Don't take the critic's word. That's the critic you listen to right there. 9.5 out of 10. You can't say any more about the movie.
No.
Right? And he said, I think he said about the spoiler, but don't forget at the very end, there's a spoiler. Don't tell them because we don't give away spoilers.
I'm not.
You have to get through the credits, guys, just so you know. There's two end scenes. There's a quick one, and then there's a spoiler at the end. But Lat, you want to say one more thing before we go about the movie?
Because I didn't give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's because I just felt bad when Mario and Luigi went in different pipes.
Oh, yeah.
See, that is another trope in movies and in video games. Split the main characters up for half of the movie. You want to see them hang out for an hour. You don't want to see them split up. And Luigi's side quest was the worst of the movie. He didn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be Haunted Mansion.
Yes, it wasn't Haunted Mansion.
Let me ask you guys one question right up front here.
Yeah.
What is the premise of every single Mario game minus Donkey Kong and minus when he makes an appearance like in Mario? What is the premise of every game?
Save Peaches.
Start one, get to the end level, save Peaches.
Save Peaches.
Yeah.
That wasn't this movie.
No, it was Save Luigi.
It was Save Luigi.
Yeah.
I've never played that game.
Well, Mike, don't you know, Mike? You can't save the princess anymore. The princess will save you because that's the generation that we're in now. You can't be a damsel in distress anymore. And what was this movie about? She was super powered. She knew her powers. Mario was the one who didn't know what he was doing.
Well, that's because Mario is now human.
Yeah,
exactly. Mario's human, but so is Peach, though. Really?
Yeah,
so
And she calls him human.
Wait. We
and
think
she
she's
know
human.
She was human.
We think she's human because she alluded. She comes from a galaxy. Did you guys catch that line? Easter egg there, where she said, "I just appeared. I could be coming from another galaxy."
Correct.
So that could be Galaxy
and
Quest.
I thought they were going to shoot maybe into one of those sets, but they didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't. Not yet.
Yeah. Okay, it sounds like you guys hated this movie, but don't give your score yet. Don't give your score, Kev.
Can we just wrap up? Kev. Can we just wrap up the voice acting and say that my hero is Jack Black of the movie?
I agree with
thank God he was in there. My wife leaned over and said, "Is that Jack Black?
Yeah.
He's doing a great job."
You don't know Jack. I didn't know Jack Black until he did the.
Yes, he did that.
Until he did the peaches. Right. And that was like, oh yeah, that is Jack Black. It doesn't
Jack
really
Black.
sound like him.
But he created, a character with his voice.
He did.
Also, since when did Cranky Kong become the head of the Kongs? I thought he was
I didn't know that.
You would buy stuff from.
Yeah, in Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, right.
That was good though. Another plug. They plugged Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong and I think Trixie was Dixie was next to them. I thought is it Dixie? Yeah, they were there and they got their little. But that's what this movie was. Literally just eye candy for the adults and a nonsensical plot for the 12-year-olds. And you mesh them two together and you got a movie that you can enjoy, whether you're old or young. We shouldn't be talking about it like this because we're not the age group that they made this movie for. But
Cranky is OG.
Cranky's OG.
I'm gonna ask you guys in a bit to grade it, but I'm gonna ask you to grade it out of a 10, chat. So give me a second. I want to grade it out of chat. What else do you want to talk about before I ask you guys to grade it? Mike, do you got anything else you want to say on the movie before I say give me the grade?
I found it odd that when they went to Donkey Kong Land or whatever, I don't know, they didn't really reference what it was. And it was supposed to be Mario against Donkey Kong on the classic first game, on the
girders.
Things. But
the girders,
the rest of it looked like Mario Rabbids, like the background. So that was confusing to me.
Well, they couldn't do it perfect. They kind of gave it a 3D effect. They gave it a 3D effect.
Yeah.
And so favorite parts of the movie, obviously my favorite part was the Donkey Kong and Mario scene. That was my favorite part of the movie.
I think he looked great. He had the little tie going. It looked like Donkey Kong. They had
didn't sound like Donkey Kong.
Didn't sound like him.
I didn't like Seth. Didn't like his voice. I don't know if you guys like Seth and who saw it.
He doesn't put any work in.
Didn't do it right. Yeah,
he didn't do it right.
Didn't do it right. Kev, what was your favorite part?
So I appreciated the animation. I thought this animation was just beautiful. Like it looked like the video game in a lot of parts. So, but my favorite part was probably the Donkey Kong scene because this movie just went at such a blistering pace. It didn't grow.
Fast.
So
it
was
fast.
At least with the Donkey Kong scene, they had a little room to play and they had a little room to show some things off with the suits and they were talking. But like it was like this scene. Okay, now we got to have the carts. Now we got to have Donkey Kong. Now we got to have an underwater scene. And now we got to have the wedding and let's end it. It's like, whoa, slow down. Let's have some, fun here. And people are going to say, oh, I don't need story in my Donkey Kong. We've come a long way in animation and stories. Look at Shrek. Look at Despicable Me. Yeah. Look at The Last Puss in Boots. It has adult themes that you can get down on. And you don't just have to say it's just for kids. So I think my least favorite part's the writing. My favorite part's the animation and probably the Donkey Kong scene in particular. Wow, and Jack Black.
You're really going off on this. All right, Mike, go for it.
Well, to me, the visuals were the best part. Seeing them use the flowers, him eating a blue egg or blue mushroom and getting small. But Jack Black at the beginning, until he went into Rexer's new favorite song, he was my favorite character. He was the only one I could really, get behind. But and all the Easter eggs, like a lot of it, I saw a lot of. What's the latest Mario game on the Switch?
Smash
not
Brothers?
Odyssey. Not Odyssey.
Odyssey. No, you're right.
Like the hat. They had the Odyssey hat.
A lot of Odyssey in there.
Yeah.
And it, to me, the Easter eggs were the thing I watched it for.
Well,
story was horrible.
I'll give the one away. My Easter egg. Very beginning, you see the guy in the pizza joint playing Donkey Kong on the arcade. But it's not called Donkey Kong. It's called Jumpman, which is even better, So
and wasn't it the Punch Out Pizzeria? It wasn't. It was in. So and on the wall was all the pictures of the fight of the Punch Out people. Yeah. So there's some really fun stuff.
You got to watch it twice. And
definitely.
When I was watching in 3D, which again, guys, I wouldn't see it in 3D. I got to focus on the front guy. So, or I get dizzy. So I was always focusing on the close visual. So I didn't see a lot of the Easter eggs in the back, but, okay. Kev, what's the score on it? Don't go off and you already went off a million ways.
Sorry. I gotta go 6. I really did. Wow. We've had better animated stories before. I mean, just throwing Easter eggs at me, is not, I don't know.
Oh, I want to talk about this. The music,
was really
the music
good.
was spot on. Where it wasn't exactly like all the songs and music you hear in a Mario game.
But you were like,
it was just you're like, I catch that. That's it. That's whatever. That's that's when they're in the dungeon, or that's when they're in the sand, the desert sand, or that's that was really awesome the way they did that. But
and the little things like the coins and the the one-ups, just hearing
all the sounds were good.
But they, They just took it from the game, basically.
Yeah, you can't really mess that up.
Kev's way up over me. I got this at a 4.
Whoa, I thought that was hard.
God,
Damn.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, a 4.
And
okay.
it's all story. It's all because of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want the real review? Here it is. Okay.
I guess our,
All right.
Don't listen to these guys. Okay.
Our reviews aren't
Because
real.
it sounds like they want to compare it to like a Braveheart or something like that.
No,
if
no.
you I understand it's nowhere near a Shrek. It's nowhere near some of those. I get it. I do. I get that. The things it was missing was not a lot of humor. I thought the wasn't too much funny things. Toad was great. Toad was cool. But not a lot of jokes that even kids got. I didn't hear a lot of laughing. You hear some, you do.
Yeah.
You hear some,
yeah.
but it's so fast paced and moving. Okay. But other than that, okay, I got you. Oh, thank you, Stringer. I $2 super chat. I did have sci-fi trick and got
X-Fi.
X-Fi. Okay.
So he went to the rewards site. He got 2 free
rewards. Good job.
Hey, Stringer, that's $30.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
So if you didn't hear, he gave it a 9. Chase gave it a 9.5. I'm giving it an 8.3. I think it was very good. I think it moved. It kept my attention. I didn't go in with over expectations. And I think the story was good. It was funny. It had a lot of characters. It had a lot of Easter eggs. You knew what was going to happen in the story, but it was still done well enough where I liked it. All right, Kev, blast me. See what people in the chat are saying. What is Show Me Retro?
You can be Nintendo Show Rexer. We have no qualms about that. If you don't want story in your story, that's fine. I mean, we want story. We have precedent set for what a story-driven adult/kids movie should be. And it's not this. Well, it's not. It's not.
Here's
this.
the real critic, but he's chases score. You guys made him
here we
change
go.
his score.
He's gonna go with 10. He's
going 10.
He's going 10.
I changed my score because I just remembered something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, he lowered it. Let's keep talking to him. He'll get it down to before you by the end of the show.
I feel like when Luigi got through the pipe and got captured by
Bowser?
No, captured by Shy Guys.
Shy Guys and Dry Bones, yeah. Well,
yeah.
He beat the Dry Bones though.
I feel like that was kind of sad, so I'm lowering it to a 9 out of 10.
Too sad. It was sad.
He felt something. He felt something there.
He felt something.
I'll tell you,
so.
being in a room with critics, and it wasn't full, but some of the comments, first of all, I noticed several eye rolls as they were walking out. And there were 2 guys arguing.
All right, so there were a bunch of kids. Whoa, what is this cat doing? It just can't jump up. Here's one
What's
thing.
His score?
Here's one thing. There was applause at the end. So yes, there were kids. Applause. Everybody was clapping. And when's the last time you've seen applause in a movie?
Avengers
you guys
Endgame.
Are not looking at with kids. You got to look at it with the kids, and that's the mentality I'm going with. I'm giving it an 8.3. It missed some humor. The story was lacking. The accent was lacking. That hurt. But other than that, it was a good movie.
It was terrible, but other than that, it was great.
No story. What story? But other than that, 9.8.
By the way, I don't know if you guys look at Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb. All the critics are below 5.
Yeah.
Well, they're wrong.
But all the audience scores
95%
are like 95.
Yeah.
So
all right, what does everybody in the chat give? Out of 10, come on. I got to see what 9.4 is the max for Super Mario Brothers because the game ends after that.
I did have one spoiler.
Yeah.
That's the only spoiler.
That's the only spoiler you'll give? Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think some of these critics are just trying to get rid of Chris Pratt, and that's why they're lowering the score? I
know
mean,
what?
He got a lot of crap.
I think they could have followed the storyline of any of the games from N64 Mario on, but they just didn't do that, and they just went in all different directions.
It was all different directions because they just wanted to shoehorn set after set. And I'm going to say something controversial. I thought Dungeons and Dragons was a better movie than Mario. I'm just going to say it. I mean, story was better. The acting was better. It just was a fun. It was funnier. Had way more, lines that I laughed at than Mario. Even my wife said Dungeons was better to follow as far as the story goes. So, I mean, I don't know. Wait a minute. Here's a good question. How does it compare to Wreck-It Ralph? No comparison. Wreck-It Ralph
Wreck-It
is a
Ralph
much
is better.
movie. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Even
Much better.
Rexer won't jump in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Chris
No,
gives it a
there's
9.
not-
Gamer
For me,
Price,
Look
8
at
out of
these
10.
9. There we go. 8 out of 10. I like those scores.
there wasn't
Yeah.
I
a
enjoyed
single
3D. Chris
chuckle.
said he enjoyed the
What?
3D. Kids saw it in 3D too, so that might have helped. That might have
Yeah.
helped them enjoy it. So
It seems like I can't see fans of Mario liking this.
I
That's
did.
what surprises me. Yeah, that's
Don't
the
shit.
biggest surprise, because it wasn't really a Mario story.
Well, you can't
Well,
even talk about the story
it
more than
doesn't-
2 seconds. There's no story.
there's no story.
Right.
You know what the story is. The story
so
is the story.
stupid.
It's all Easter eggs and nostalgia clips. You know,
know,
in
what
your
other
head.
movie-
And, oh yeah, there's that. Oh yeah.
But what other movie can get away with that? Like Sonic actually had to make a story. Sonic had to
Yeah,
make a
Sonic was
movie.
decent.
Yeah, it was
They,
decent.
they like went back
Yeah,
and
but that was-
redid
Yeah,
it.
they
Part
redid
live
it.
action. And,
Yeah, it was live action, but I'm saying story wise, it actually brought in characters. It had an arc
I
for
don't
some of these.
know. I didn't
this is
want a
just-
story. What I was good with.
They just played a
what was
video
going
game if you
on.
don't want a story. Yeah. John Leguizamo, he said he's boycotting it. There's no representation. I guess they
Yeah.
have to swap out everybody and race swap and gender swap for him to be happy. He's just mad he was not involved.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay, let's change to another
All right.
movie.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let's jump into. We're gonna do a couple. Tetris. Kev, you saw Tetris.
No, I did not.
Oh,
I
you
don't
did
have-
not. Mike
yeah,
saw
Mike
Tetris.
sees
Go for
Tetris.
it. Give us your synopsis.
Okay, we're gonna review this tomorrow night at 8:00 on Oh Brother Podcast. So if you want to see
Okay.
the full review, it's there.
Okay.
Of the 3 movies I saw, this was the best. Was
Okay.
Tetris.
Okay.
However, it was too long. It was almost 2 hours, and they could have pulled a chunk out of there, and it would have been fine. But one thing they skipped over. Did you see it, Rexer?
I'm about 30 minutes in.
Okay,
And
so
I had to
one thing
stop.
they skipped over. Remember Atari? They were gone, but Nintendo were after the rights to Tetris. That's basically what the movie's about. Atari, under the Tengen, or do you call it
Tengen?
Tengen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Under the Tengen name, they released a bootleg version
Yeah.
of Tetris and went to court, lost. Those are probably somewhere down the road from you, Rex, or in with the ETs. But I thought it was, it had a story. Obviously, it was based on real life events.
Yeah.
Some are a little sketchy to me. That
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Okay. So
Okay.
I heard the Gamer Historian did a Tetris video a long time ago, maybe. I don't know. And the story is really exaggerated in the movie Tetris, which is fine because
what I thought.
it makes it a good movie. The story's fine if they exaggerate. I'm only about 30 minutes in, but what I wanted to say is they go over the you guys will see. It's not really I'm not giving any spoilers.
So
They talk about the handheld rights, right? You got the
Correct.
video game, the arcade
Yeah.
rights, the handheld.
Okay.
They all of a sudden there's handheld rights, and they act like they don't know anything about it, and it's really weird the way he's like, "Well, do you have the handheld rights?" And they're like, yeah, we have the handheld right." They don't even know what a handheld
what it
is at this
was,
point.
yeah.
And then they just take it for granted. Oh, okay, you have the handheld rights. Like it's just whoever said they had the handheld rights got the handheld rights kind of thing. And it was
But-
very
but
aloof
they-
and loose the way they did it. And I didn't like the way. And that's where I end. That's where I stopped right now. Other than that, it's great so far.
But you got to remember, this is pre-Game Boy. Okay, Game Boy hadn't come out
No.
yet. Nobody even knew what Game Boy was. So, what was a handheld before Game Boy?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there was
It
no
was the
hand-
Game and Watch games. You know,
Yeah.
that was like blip, blip, blip,
Yeah.
blip.
Like, oh yeah,
So-
handhelds. We got handhelds, right? Nobody knew what a handheld was at that time.
No.
Like, what
Right.
are you talking about?
Right.
You know, and then he takes it for granted that they have the handhelds, you know? And maybe that
Right.
helped with the story, but so far, really good. But I got to finish it. So,
Yeah, I like I said, half hour too long. They could have cut. They could have put the Atari chunk in and took out stuff with his family that really didn't make any help with the movie or sense
Yeah,
with the
that-
movie.
Thank you, Stringer Films. You're talking about
Yeah, John
again.
Leguizamo.
Yeah, I know.
Leguizamo,
He's
yeah,
so
he is. He's still
off his
mad.
rocker.
I don't. Whatever. The guy's a little nuts, but like I said earlier, if you missed it earlier, hey, if you're an Italian man, Mario's a hero of the Italians, man. Give us our cred. Give us our cred, man.
My mother's name's Polito.
They do a Tupac cartoon. I don't think you want Larry the Cable Guy doing Tupac's voice. You know, I mean, just like my Optimus Prime comparison. You got to have the voice has got to sound like it. Anyway, all right, 5 minutes. Okay, done. All right, the next movie then. Since Kev didn't see, let's go to the pinball.
I'm probably the only one that.
Yeah,
I'm the only one who's seen it.
You are. I didn't see it yet, but I know a lot of people.
Is that streaming anywhere, or is that just movies right now?
You can get it on Amazon.
Amazon.
I had to rent it.
Okay.
So,
Give us the lowdown. What'd you think?
Now, again, half hour. I mean, it was an hour and a half long. They could have chopped a half hour.
Yeah.
It's basically the big thing about it is the fact that in the 30s, this district attorney was trying to make a name for himself. So he made pinball illegal, claiming it was gambling and it was controlled by the mob. And he made a name for himself.
Yeah.
And that stuck for 40 years until they brought in this guy and he went in front of like a panel in Congress and played pinball with skill. Pinball's a game of skill, not a game of chance.
Yeah.
Which is what
the
story is about.
But it didn't need to be an hour and a half long to tell that.
Definitely didn't need, because there was a relationship story element to it that really, I just want to see pinball or talk about pinball. And at the end, when the lights come out, it's basically it's a documentary, a guy telling the story, and then it would fade into him as a young man.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
But when the lights come up at the very end with him, he's got all the newest tables, Jurassic Park, Stranger Things.
Got it. Okay.
$2. Thank you, Stringer. Enough about Nintendo. Let's talk about one-ups. Pass. There's nothing to talk about.
I think my mic's going out.
I think there's some other streams talking about it if people want to go
right now.
listen to that.
Now,
We're going to talk about Star Wars, though. We got the pinball. So I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah, I hope you will.
I'll watch it.
I'm curious to see your opinions.
Yeah. All right, Star Wars, 3 new films coming out. This is our last topic, and then we'll close shop. I didn't read much about it. Mike, you want to tell us what you know about the 3 new films coming out?
Yeah, and really there's 10. They tried to present this like Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, here's the Star Wars universe, and they had 10 different things. So some of them were shows. It was hard to figure out what was a show, what was a movie. I don't think they know. Mm-hmm. But the first one's Dawn of the Jedi, supposedly. And the director is James Mangold. Do you guys, does that ring a bell with you?
No.
Yeah, he did some of the X-Men stuff.
Right. He just did the new Indiana Jones.
And Indiana Jones. Yep.
So he's wrapping on that right now.
Yeah.
Doing press. He also did Logan, which a lot of people
which was
Logan.
phenomenal. Logan was the best. Yep.
So that's supposed to go way back. And his idea is, where did the Force come from? So we're going like back.
Okay.
Like forget prequels, like thousands of years.
But what I read, thank you, $2 from Stringer Films. The pinball movie is worth watching. I loved it. Awesome.
Good.
I think people in this genre will love watching it. I honestly do.
I do
go
too.
watch it, you guys. The Man Who Saved Pinball. So how exciting for Fast and Furious. I thought, though, I read something that it's 15 years. The 3 movies that are coming out start 15 years after the last one with Rey. And Rey is like rebuilding the Jedi
I think
order.
That's one of them, right?
That's one of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of confusion about it, but
they don't know what they're doing.
That's called a new Jedi Order.
Yeah,
and it just that movie is supposed to take place 15 years after.
But that's not part of the 3 movies that are supposed to come out.
It's not. It is.
Yeah,
but it's not like a trilogy.
It's not like
it's a whole separate.
Oh, okay.
They're all separate.
I like the way that you were talking about the first one, where the Force come when the first guy who gets the Force. I think I did read that about something. Let me get this from Paul. $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Paul. Mike, tell us what you really think about what's going on at Disney in general and Star Wars in particular. We would be here for an hour if we let Mike rant about Disney.
Correct.
I think you did a show on ranting about Disney already.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We did.
So
we did.
Yeah, they went off.
Stuff.
You got to go to Oh Brother, and they went off on Disney.
And I think this is another problem. Like all these shows and all these movies, take it with a grain of salt. Because
things are going to change.
Kathleen Kennedy is on very thin ice.
Yeah,
I can't believe she's still around myself.
And if she tanks this movie, this
Yeah.
Dawn of the Jedi, I think she'll be joining Chapek.
Well, but here's the problem.
Yeah, but she already has.
Yeah.
Like, what has she done that's worth keeping her job? Let alone, like Solo, Fett. You can go up and down the line. She's not anything worth watching.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm tired of this rebuilding the Jedi. Every movie is about rebuilding the Jedi. Even when Luke Skywalker tried to rebuild the Jedi with Kylo Ren and it went awry, that was like the premise of the thing. I tried rebuilding the Jedi. There's no Jedi left, Okay, now she's going to rebuild the Jedi.
Yeah, what is she going to do?
So now instead of skipping the part where everybody failed, with rebuilding the Jedi, we're just going to talk about them rebuilding and they're going to rebuild the Jedi. So I'm tired of that story, man.
The second movie in this non-trilogy is called New Republic, and that's by Dave Filoni. I don't know if you guys know him, but he was big in Clone Wars and Bad Batch.
A huge Clone Wars guy.
And him and Jon Favreau are the ones responsible for Mandalorian. So apparently the middle movie is going to tie up Boba Fett with Mandalorian and that whole time sequence. And they're also deciding to go off canon, which is going to, really
upset
Star
some people.
Wars. Diehards.
The diehards don't like canon.
Ooh, no.
But aren't we at a point now where what faith do we have? It's not like 5 years ago when Marvel was at the top of his game and they would announce this. You'd be like, all right, this is going to be good. This is just crazy nonsense they're throwing out here. We were supposed to get a trilogy from Rian Johnson. We were supposed to get a bunch of movies that were canceled. Rogue Squadron. Where is all these movies? So now you're going to say, screw those. This is the batch we're going to focus on. How do we know that? Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
They've ruined it for me. I just can't get into this. I can't get excited.
Will be good.
Ahsoka looks okay.
So wait, they're doing a Grand Admiral Thrawn movie specific, or
he's going to be in the New Republic movie.
Yeah, that's
the villain where they're tying together everything. But and they've got 3 directors. Dave Filoni's directing that, and then they have a woman director. Remember, the first woman director was supposed to be Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins. Yeah,
from
the Wonder Woman, and she got blown out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of directors, big directors, have been attached and blown out by Kathleen
because
Kennedy.
they come in with their ideas and they're told no. And they're told, this is what we want. They're like, I want to do this. So if you're not going to let the visionaries...
Any ideas like Springer Films, $2 Disney announced Jawa series, no subtitles.
No subtitles.
You make up your own words. You make up your own Jawas. What they're saying.
I bet the story will be better than Mario.
9.3. Like, it's a 9.3. No more, no less.
9.3, man. Come on. You guys are rough, man. The audience clapped. That's all I'm going to say. People loved it. The audience clapped.
Well, they clapped because they were leaving.
Mario.
If you look at the sheets, the critics hate it, the fans love it.
Yeah,
that's the way it's going.
Series.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I'm such a huge Mario. I've beaten every Mario game since the N64, so I love Mario. So I was excited. Yeah. I wasn't going in there like, I want to hate this movie. I wanted to like it. I wanted to be like Rexler and say, this didn't bother me, that didn't bother me, but
some of it bothered me, but that's why it wasn't a 9.5 for me. That's why it was an 8.3.
No story didn't bother him at all to take down his score from a 9.3. I mean, what really surprised me early on was I wasn't laughing. I'm like, I thought there was going to be jokes in here. Where's my jokes?
That
was not a sing. I think I heard a couple of sniffles and a cough.
Exactly.
Not
like, where's my
humor.
jokes?
All right,
the first time I even was amused is when Toad showed up. And he's like, hey, he's going to go on an adventure. I was like, okay, it's not funny, but at least it's amusing.
Stringer, thank you for $2 super chat. Episode 1 for the Jawas is called OTD. It's more like Wootini. Wootini.
Oh my god.
That's all they say the whole episode. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up with that. Go see Mario. All right.
See, I'm not saying don't say it. See it. See it. Please see it. Support it.
I always
don't
say,
listen to these guys.
Don't listen to my 6 and Mike's 4.
Don't take our
don't take our word.
Go check it out, and then if you disagree, come back.
Come back and leave a comment.
Leave hate stuff.
Yeah, leave hate stuff. Like the one story, the guy I commented on.
Mike,
on
we
Mike,
never
you
get
guys
hate.
did it. So Mike, Brother Podcast did a first look on it, and with the trailer of Mario. So I commented on it. I'm like, this is him Mario not having an Italian accent is going to bother me. All these people come out and start,
right.
What problem do you have with Chris Pratt? I'm like, I don't have a problem with Chris Pratt. I actually like Chris Pratt. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But
I said the same thing. I love Chris Pratt, but he's not doing Mario.
Yeah, he's not doing it justice to the voice, and it's not a good voice.
I'm very disappointed that in this movie there wasn't a scene where Mario went and did his famous Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt did his Jurassic Park pose. We needed a Jurassic Park pose.
Like that. That's what he does, the full hand.
Yeah, he does.
I heard he did that the whole movie.
The whole movie.
The whole movie. Everybody was doing it. Like they're like, that works.
Yeah. If you took a drink every time he did it, you couldn't drive
That's
home.
a good drinking game.
That's
a good drinking game.
All
right. Let's look at Gamer Price, and then we got to go. Thank you, Gamer Price. $4.99 super chat. I think at the end of the day, the moral of the story these guys want to get across is spend your money on these decent movies instead of ones. Hey, man, I could have bought a Blitz with the film and not gone to the film, and I would definitely choose
at least a party kid.
Giving him the excitement,
So far,
of
the
movie.
global take of this, the box office,
300, right?
77 million.
That's pretty good, right?
Mike, here's a question: will it get to the billion? Will it hit a billion? That's the word.
No,
I don't think so.
You don't think
but
so? It's a 3. China hasn't opened yet, right?
Yeah.
So you have a couple weeks for some more markets to open. This could get to 700-800 million easily.
I think it depends on the word of mouth. If it's me and Kevgret talking to people, they'll skip it.
If it's Rexer, then
if it's Rexer, they're gonna go.
They're gonna go.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But
if
it
just
has
take the kids.
Take the kid. Yeah, exactly.
John Wick got beaten by Dungeons and Dragons, but
that's another one.
Over it.
But then
Who
John
saw
Wick
Dungeons
is back.
and Dragons? Kev, you saw it. You loved it.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was more fan service with a real story behind it, and it didn't treat the characters stupid. It had strong females, strong males. The story was great. The battle at the end, Rexer and Mike, was so well done. It was like watching the Avengers type battle, but it was just filmed really well.
Yeah.
Go see Dungeons and Dragons. Support that.
Yeah,
big time.
Paul, I'm surprised they didn't come out with Super Mario Brothers 1-up, because every time a movie comes out and launches something, they got to coincide with it. So they chose Fast and Furious over Mario Brothers Arcade.
I am surprised Nintendo didn't have a game.
Something
I know Zelda's on the way, but I thought they would have a Mario game.
Oh, to coincide with the movie?
I mean, that would have made sense.
I would have loved a new Super Mario Brothers, the new Super Mario Brothers on the Switch.
Well, I guess we can officially say that the Mario universe is born now. You're going to get your Zelda, your Metroid. You're going to get it all. You're going to get the floodgates open, and hopefully the next one has a story.
Because they're taking one off of Disney, Yeah, let's just saturate it so much,
Disney is officially dethroned as the king of animation, It's Illumination right now in DreamWorks.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up. My time is up. The kid gave me the time is up. I want to thank Mike from Brother. Go see his Tetris review tomorrow on his channel, Brother Podcast. Kev, as always, thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me, Rex.
Thank you for your Real Critic review, Chase. Thank you for your Real Critic review.
We're not real critics,
Mike's.
Mike.
Not Mike's.
That's so bad. That's
It's a bad review from you guys.
You were screwed up, Mike. What are you doing?
I love being on the Rexer show.
It's your last.
I come back?
It's your last time since you gave it a 4.
All right, we'll see you guys.
See everybody.
Bye.
Night.